Hi everyone! So it's Anime Reviewer Girl, and I'm going to review another anime for you guys. This week's anime is actually going to be Rurouni Kenshin. For those of you guys who don't know, Rurouni Kenshin is an older anime. I actually watched this when I was younger. Actually, I watched it when it was airing on Toonami. It aired right after Yu Yu Hakusho, and it was actually one of my favorite shows. It's actually one of the first shows I ever watched that was kind of took place in a historical time period. So it was something that didn't take place in the 90s or it didn't take place in the millennium. It actually took place during the Meiji era of Japan, which was actually really different for me to watch. Once again, it's an older anime, so if for those of you guys who haven't seen it, you will definitely have to get used to the art style that's involved with this show, since I know the newer ones look a lot different than the older ones. But by all means, you'll still definitely enjoy it. Rurouni Kenshin tells the story of Kenshin Himura, who is basically a wandering Rurouni who was actually an assassin in the war, better known as Batosai the Manslayer. And basically he killed a lot of people. And to atone for that, he's basically, instead of killing people, he's helping to protect people now instead. When you first meet him, he encounters Kaoru Kamiya, who is a female kendo master, and it basically talks about how he ends up staying with her, and he ends up meeting like a crazy group of characters that actually help him out to fight off enemies that basically come after him because of his dark past. The show is fairly short. It's about 94 episodes. There are a few OVAs that go along with this series that talk about it after, and there's Samurai X, and some of them even talk about Kenshin's life before he actually ended up meeting Kaoru, and also talks about basically his time before he actually ended up, or when he was still the Manslayer. It's actually a really amazing show. The reason why I honestly really like this show is because, I'm not gonna lie, I grew up with more shonen animes than shoujo animes when I was younger. So I started off, the first show I started watching off, besides Sailor Moon or after Sailor Moon, was a Dragon Ball Z. So I grew up watching a lot of shows that not really were violent, but they had a lot more fighting involved in them. That's why I immediately gravitated for Rurouni Kenshin when I saw it on Toonami. Perfect thing for me when I first started watching it, I happened to catch the very first episode on Toonami. And for those of you guys who are a little bit younger than me, Toonami used to air on Cartoon Network. Not during the evenings. It actually used to air between the hours of 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's when I would watch it after school a lot of times. But anyway, back to this review. So Kenshin, you end up meeting a lot of Kenshins, like some of his enemies from the past. And basically, it's about him defeating them. So there's always an arc involved in this series. So there's a new enemy to defeat, but they're fairly short arcs. They're not like Bleach length arcs or Naruto length arcs. They're actually fairly short, but they're really good. Not only that, but even though the show has a lot of fighting involved, it's actually very funny. I'm not gonna lie, this show's hilarious. Kenshin can go from being this innocent Rurouni who's very, very humble, and he's like very protective, and he's very sweet and very nice and just wants to live kind of like a regular life, to all of a sudden becoming this like badass samurai who can kick almost anyone's ass. And it's really cool to see that, because Kaoru is like a very strong kendo master. Even though she's female, a lot of people don't like the fact that she's a female kendo master, because there's not really many around. A lot of them are guys, but she's very strong-willed, and that's why I absolutely loved her as a character. But she's very kind of hard on Kenshin sometimes, but it's really funny to hear them bicker back and forth. Not really bicker back and forth, but to hear her, like, you know, smack Kenshin upside the head a good time if he does something really stupid. But anyway, that's why I absolutely loved it. Not only that, but I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't really like those kind of shows. But honestly, there's a little bit of something in there for everyone. There is kind of a love story. Kind of a love story. It's not really a love story that gets you like there's going to be any like cute and fluffy moments involved. No, it's more of like, God, why won't they just get together already? It's very much, if you're used to the whole like love story like Inuyasha and Kagome and Inuyasha, or if you look at something else, like if you're just trying to hope they get together, like Fairy Tail or like Naruto a lot of times. But there is a lot of that involved. But it's cool because the other characters have picked up on who's kind of liking who, and they like call them out on it, which is it's really cool. It's really amazing actually to see that. But overall, this show was literally amazing. It's actually a show that I can watch over and over again because it's just that good. There's certain arcs of this show that show the amazingness of swords and of like I'm getting this wrong, I guess, of of sword artistry and them being able to fight with swords. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. But it shows that, and it's just amazing to see that. I mean, it's very different than watching Bleach, who does deal a lot with their swords and zanpakutos, but with Rurouni Kenshin, it still has that, but it's not like powers or anything else like that. Like, they have different art styles, and it's actually really cool. And for anyone who's never picked up a samurai sword, I'm gonna be honest, once I saw this show, I was like, can I start doing this, please? I want to, please. I never actually did, but I really wanted to. But yeah, so definitely check out Rurouni Kenshin. It's actually a really good show. And for those of you guys who are new to anime, definitely also check it out as well. It's a really good show. Also, if you've already seen it, also check out the OVAs. Those are also really, really good. They're not actually made by the same studio who made Rurouni Kenshin as far as I can remember, but they're kind of cool because they kind of talk about Kenshin's backstory a little bit more and understand more about him. I'm not going to lie, the OVAs, as far as how they end, really pissed me off, and I didn't like the ending at all, but yeah, so definitely check it out. As far as like the ending for Rurouni Kenshin, the ending was okay. It definitely had an ending, but if you probably want to know more as far as what happens, definitely check out the manga. I myself have never actually read the manga. It's still on my to-do list, so yeah, don't count me out. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's my review for today. It's on Rurouni Kenshin. Also, if you're hearing any noise in the background, it's because I'm currently watching Harry Potter Goblet of Fire right now. Yeah, nerd weekend today. Not only that, as you can see, got my hair a little bit different today. This time I added red into my hair. Yeah. Also, thank you for checking out my last video when I talked about fan fiction, yay or nay. Thank you so much for checking it out. I got a few comments on there as well. Also, I might actually do a video discussing my favorite animes, my favorite fanfics. And if you would like to know what those are, comment down below. I know I had someone actually request it, and thanks to the person who requested it. I actually might do it. Also, I actually got a new case, so I might do an unboxing for that as well. Once again, I'm going to leave all my social media networks links down in the box below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. All right. Love you guys. Bye. Bye.